beats of my heart. I can't say no. It's ripping me up.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So if you guys have seen my Instagram, you will know that on Tuesday we welcomed two new ponies to the family. One is called Johnny and one is called Rocco. If you watched my island vlog, then you would have seen Johnny and found out that I brought him when we went to Ireland a couple of weeks ago. But you won't know about Rocco because he wasn't included in the vlog because I didn't know we were getting him basically until a few days before he arrived. So today I'm going to be telling you all about them, what I know, how we ended up with two new ponies, what our plans are with them, and showing you some videos and photos. So let's get right into it. So let's start with Johnny. Johnny is my project pony that I bought from Ireland using my own money that I completely saved up myself. He's completely my own. The rule was I had to pay for him myself. I've always wanted to get a project pony, specifically Connemara, because I love them. Danny is mainly Connemara, Prince is full Connie, and my old pony Horace was a full Connemara too, so I love the breed and I really wanted to get one myself that I could produce, and that's basically a blank canvas. So when we went to Ireland I had about 15 ponies I think lined up to view, and strangely enough Johnny wasn't actually on the list of the ponies I was going to try out. But when we got to the yard and we were seeing another pony there, I saw Johnny in his stable. I was like, wow, he is so pretty. But we saw this other pony and she was lovely. You probably saw her in the vlog too. And then the lovely lady who owned the yard was like, oh, I have this other one too for sale. So we went over and immediately I was like, I think he might be the one, because he had the most lovely personality. He was so inquisitive, and a lot of the ones we've seen have been quite nervous, and it's understandable because they're babies. But he was so inquisitive and just gentle and lovely, and I really liked that about him. And she told us that he'd been ridden about 7 or 8 times, very lightly backed, literally done nothing, gone around a few jumps with his rider, and that's about it, maybe been a few hacks. But she went and got him all tacked up. She couldn't find his bridle, so we put a grackle on him, which was why he's in a grackle. A lot of people were wondering that. But yeah, it wasn't a really loose grackle because she couldn't find his bridle. Oh, we put him in the school and free-schooled him first, and he was really great. And I was looking for something with a little bit more spice about them because I didn't want something that was going to be too lazy or anything. So he went in the school and he was really happy and cantering around, had really nice paces, and just had a little bit of a spark about him, which I really liked. And he came over and said hello, and I liked that about him too. So she tacked him up and she gave him a lunge because she was like always a little bit excited, so I just lunged him. So she lunged him and he was a bit excited, but he got that out of his system. And then I got on him, and you know when you just get on them and you're immediately like, this is the one. Yeah, that was me. And I got on him and he was so lovely, and I could feel a good connection with him, and I trusted him around, and he was such a good boy. And I was like, Mum, this is the one. She was like, just keep riding it. And she put a tiny cross up, and she was like, just pop him over the cross. Like, bear in mind, this is literally his second time ever being jumped under saddle or something. And I just went over and popped him over it, and he was so cool about it. Didn't even blink an eye. And I went round and popped him over a couple of tiny fillers, literally like 30cm fillers. He was so good, didn't even look at them. And I immediately knew. I got in the car after and was like, Mum, he is the one. But obviously we kept looking because you never know, the one can be upped by another one. So we just kept looking, but when we got to the end of the second day, I just knew. I was like, this is definitely the one, Johnny. And funny enough, he didn't actually have a name when we interviewed him. He was just called Grey Gelding, but his show name is Bellina Hone Johnny, so, you know, got to keep with the show name. So it happened. I got home and I got all my money together. I sent all of my money from my bank account to Mum's, and I got all my money in cash as well and gave that to Mum. And I had just enough for him. My budget was about 3k, for all of you wondering, and he was just under, so I could have money for transport and for vetting as well. He passed the 2-stage vetting with flying colours. He's having the farrier out next week, and also the teeth lady out because he needs to get his wolf tooth removed. And then hopefully after that we can start riding him, but I'm going to make sure he's all settled in first, and very excited for him because my plan is with him, what I'm going to do is, fingers crossed, over the next few years I'm going to just produce him really nice and slowly. Whilst I event Prince this season, I'm going to take him out to tiny little shows, just get him used to the world, lots of hacking, lots of fun stuff, no pressure things. I guess we'll see how it goes this year, and if we keep him next year, which I hope we will, I'll get him out to some few BEs, maybe B90s, and then just see how that goes. And I want to see hopefully if we can get him up to a good level so we can sell him and somebody will have a lot of fun with him, because he's a lovely little pony. And know me, I will get really attached to him and then I'll end up with him forever, but who knows, he is lovely, and so far he's been an absolute dream. He's 3 rising 4, he'll be 4 in March, so he's just amazing. But you know, I just want to have fun and I want a nice personality, which is what he is, and something that's a bit special, and I really think that's definitely him. So overall I'm so happy and can't believe it still that I honestly have him as my own. Hi, Johnny. So let us move on to Rocco. So you wouldn't have seen Rocco in the vlog because I didn't include him because I generally just didn't really think anything of it. Again, we weren't going to go view him because I was thinking for something that's 3 to 6 and he is 2. So we weren't meant to view him. But we got there and we saw the other pony, and I really liked the other pony, and I was like almost sure she was going to be the one, but then I saw Johnny and I thought otherwise. But this other pony was a lovely mare, and we pulled up into the yard and my mum saw in a stable next to the driveway a beautiful dun colt, and she goes to me, oh my god, he is so pretty. I'm like, Mum, stay on track, we're here to see one pony, it's a grey mare. And she goes, yes, but he's so pretty. But we don't like thinking anything of it, we just think, well, pretty done, not right for what we're looking for. But we saw the lovely mare and I really liked her, as I said. And I was talking to this lady and she was like, oh, I have this other pony too, like you can look at him, he's 2, but we'll have a look at him anyway. And she pulled him out and it was the dun colt, and my mum goes, oh, he's beautiful. I'm like, are you sure you don't want another one? Like, are you sure you don't want a 2-year-old? She's like, Dad would never let us. She pulled him out and he was so nice, he was just so chill and like cool. Like, bear in mind this pony's 2 and he's literally done nothing. And she put him in a menage and he goes around, he's all cute and like, he's just beautiful, he's got really nice paces as well. And my mum, like, she just had this weird connection. And my mum is quite, like, if she doesn't like one, she will tell me, and there's very few that she really likes. Johnny was one of them, and for some reason this Rocco she was just so in love with. And on the clip you can hear her say in the background, oh my god, he's so nice, we'll just put him out in the field for a year. And that's the only clip I got of Rocco at the viewing. But I didn't really think anything of it because, you know, I wasn't really there to look for a 2-year-old, and I just didn't think we could really afford it because I had 3k, and although he was definitely inside of our budget because he's very young and had literally done nothing, I couldn't really afford to get 2 with the 3k I had. So we went away and my mum was like, oh, he was so lovely, that how much I want to convince Dad. And I was like, Mum, don't get your hopes up. So we went to the store, we kept seeing Johnny, we saw Johnny and I was so happy. And then on the way back my mum goes, I know it's bad, but I can't stop thinking about that dun colt. I'm like, Mum, we just bought Johnny, like what's going on? This dun colt is 2. But she goes, I know, but I just feel like it'll be a shame to leave him. And she's just like, I can't, I think we should try and convince Dad. I'm like, sure, I mean, you try and convince Dad. Dad is not gonna let you get a 2-year-old dun colt. But she goes, yeah, but he's special. I'm like, okay, well, you good luck convincing Dad. We get home and we talk to Dad about it and we're like, hey, look, there was this dun colt. He was so nice. And last year my mum lost her old horse Inky, so ever since then she's kind of been tentatively looking for a new one to ride or to look after, but she's kind of lost interest in riding because she doesn't really do it anymore, and she doesn't want to hurt herself or anything, so she really just wants something she can look after and love as her own. And that's kind of the way we presented it to Dad, because he wasn't really against the idea of getting her a horse for herself. So we presented it to him and he was kind of just like, you know, like dads are, they just kind of avoid the subject. We're just like, maybe he's messing with us or something. But then I'm at school the next day and I get a text and it goes, he's just agreed to getting Rocco the dun colt. And I just like, you know when you just like freeze? I literally just like freeze. I'm like, oh my god. And I run upstairs and tell my 2 best friends. and yeah, it was an amazing moment and I couldn't believe it, and equestrian dad is the best. And Rocco is mum's pony, or joint equestrian dad and mum's pony. So basically the plan with Rocco is, because he's only 2, he's a real baby, he's got a lot more growing to come about him, but we're literally going to stick him out in the field for this year and a bit of next year, and then this time next year, this time in spring next year 2020, I'm going to back him and I will ride him. Mum won't ride him because she doesn't really want to ride and she can't really ride a 14-2 pony. And I will produce him like I produced Johnny, so he will go to lots of little shows, and whilst Johnny's going to some BEs in 2 years time, Rocco will go to some little shows, and then the year after that Rocco will go to some BEs, fingers crossed if everything goes well, that's the plan. And I can't believe it, Rocco is honestly the sweetest pony I've ever met. He is so nice, he's so chill. For a 2-year-old, he's literally had barely any kind of work done to him. But he's obviously had a really good upbringing in his life because he loves humans, he's so sweet. But yeah, he is just the nicest pony and so calm, and but he can be a little bit feisty when he wants to be, which is quite funny and makes us both laugh. But overall, yeah, I can't believe it. So welcome Johnny and Rocco to Pony Nuts. So you're going to be seeing lots of them, and I hope you enjoy following their journey. It's going to be a whirlwind, I imagine, and I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to sharing it all with you guys. In other news, little Danny has very recently gone to his new lone home. He's 10 minutes up the road, but over the past few months or so I have just really realised how much I've grown, and I don't think he was enjoying riding as much as I know he should be, and it was just getting to a point I was like, this isn't fair, I'm only keeping him because I love him so much and I'm being so selfish. We had the saddler out and the vet out, and they both said he needs to be in constant work, and when I'm this big for him, I can't give him that constant work, and I don't want to be giving him constant work when I'm possibly hurting him or anything. So we looked into it very slightly, we asked around, and immediately we had the perfect home come up for him. I think she's 10 years old and she's a very good rider, and she came and saw him, and I just knew immediately, I was like, these two are so perfect for each other. He was so happy, and when I dropped him off at that new home 10 minutes up the road, I just knew, I just was like, this is right for him. He is so happy, and I want you guys to, I don't want any of you guys to feel bad or feel upset or be sad, because you should all be happy for him, because if you love him as much as I love him, or anywhere near as much as I love him, then his happiness should be your top priority, and that is what we are thinking about now. We do not care about how it makes us feel, because I was so devastated and heartbroken. But I know that the most important thing is how Danny is, and Danny is happy, and that is what matters. And he is having so much fun. He actually very recently went out yesterday and won his first show with her. He won the 70 and came second in the 60 with 2 clears, and he is just the happiest I've seen him in such a long time, and it makes my heart absolutely melt. It's so weird not having him up the yard, having him for 4 years, but I know that in a couple of years he'll be ready to retire, and then he can come home and he'll retire with us. He's always going to have a home with us, and he's always going to be my pony, and I'm still going to go see him literally every week or so. But the main thing is he's happy, and he's giving this little girl the years he's given me, and to me that means more than any of the videos I get of him, the funny times I have with him. His happiness, as always, is my top priority, and I'm so happy that I can finally give him that and not be so selfish, because I was being so selfish. I was like, I'm just going to keep him, like, he's my Danny, I can't let him go. But I'm glad I did, and he is happy. So enough of that. Yes, this is a big change to my account, I'm sure you've all seen. I've still got lovely prints. I'm going to have a great year on prints, fingers crossed. I think we're just going to stick at 100 this year, because I had to rethink of my plans, and I was putting so much pressure on myself to go higher and higher, and it was just like taking the fun out of it and worrying Prince and worrying me, and we just thought, you know what, this isn't what it's about, we should be having fun. So we're going to stick at 100 and just have loads of fun. We're going to start at 90 and do 190, and then just ease ourselves into it, and hopefully have lots of fun if the weather doesn't ruin it. And I can produce Johnny in the background and hopefully have a really great year, and I'm really excited to show you guys all about it. So as always, thank you for all your amazing support, and sorry to fling a load of this information on you at once. I hope this video cleared up some facts about it. So yes, we have 2 new ponies, Johnny, who is mine, and Rocco, who is my mum's. Oh, and you might have seen as well in a couple of my videos, there's a little bay pony called Harry. He's just a companion we have on loan for a little bit, maybe a couple of months or so, from a friend. He needs looking after and we have the space. He's also a really great little uncle figure to the babies, so it was great all round, and that's just what he is. So if you see him, that's that. He's just a companion, can't be ridden or anything, and he's tiny. He's like 12'2", maybe 11'2", very small, but he's a sweetie, and as I said, a great influence on the babies. So that's that. That is all the news I have. A big change has happened to my account with Danny leaving and the introduction of 2 new ponies, but I hope you're all keeping up with it. And as always, thank you for all your amazing support. I really appreciate it, and it makes telling you all a little bit easier because I didn't know how you were going to take it, but I'm so happy that you guys have taken it so well. And I hope you enjoy following the 2 babies' story, and I'll keep you updated with them, and I'll try and keep you updated with Danny as well, and of course Princey, who I'll be eventing this season. But overall, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next week.
Over habits of my